How are you doing, guys? Welcome back into another YouTube video. This one's going to be a little different than normal. I want to talk about something that gets asked about me a lot in my streams. I've been streaming now for a little over 3 years. Just recently got partner a few months ago, and it only seems like since I started averaging over 80 viewers per stream, I'm getting a lot of people coming in and either just outright talking about their stream unprovoked or asking me questions about how I got to where I am. How do I have so many viewers? How do I do this? How do I do that? And there is a very good article that Twitch has about Twitch etiquette. And a lot of that breaks the Twitch etiquette. There are channels on Twitch that are very pro streamer friendly. If you stream, they have communities, they welcome you in, they ask you what you stream, they pull up your channel, they talk about it, etc., etc. Most are not. And mine is not one of those channels. If I know you as a friend, or if I know you as a streamer and we have, connected in the past and talked about things, I will openly ask you about your stream and talk about things. I think natural discussion about talking about other people's streams is better for their growth than just giving a shout out in chat. I really don't like shout outs. I don't like getting them when I go into people's chats. I don't like giving them. I really don't like being rated by really small channels. I understand why they're doing it, but they're doing it wrong. I have a different way of approaching things on Twitch, and it rubs people the wrong way. I've had people, small streamers, who have come in and they've asked me about things, or they've blatantly said things, and I've timed them out or I've banned them, and I've gotten some really, really dirty messages from them, almost as if I owe them some kind of recognition because they also stream on Twitch, and I'm not about that. If anybody ever has any questions about streaming after this video, please feel free to send me a DM either on Discord or on Twitch. We can set up a time to chat about things. All you're gonna hear from me is a reinforcement of what you're gonna hear in this video. So take this as you can. Be sure to pause and take notes. If you have questions about any of it, leave a comment in the comments below. This is all based off of my experiences. This may not work for everyone, but this is probably a definitive list of how you should go about streaming on Twitch, at least. So with COVID in the past year, there has been a double in the number of Twitch streamers on Twitch. Unfortunately, there has not been a doubling in viewers on Twitch, and that has caused almost a shrink in available viewers in the pool for smaller people to get started. Now that little pool has been shrinking for quite some time now, because not only is the audience or the streamer number for Twitch getting higher, but there are more streaming platforms now that are more recognized that people are going to, so it makes the audience less and less. There is still a lot of people on Twitch, and there's still a lot of opportunity for growth, but trying to find that and trying to capture it is a lot harder than it used to be. No one can just sit in front of their computer and play a video game and grow. There's a whole lot more to it than that. Just like you can't walk over to a basketball court, start shooting a basketball, and you're automatically a pro basketball player. There's a couple of questions you have to ask yourself when you get started with streaming. First of all, am I streaming for the right reasons? If you are streaming to make income, you are automatically doing it for the wrong reason. Now, income is what you want at the end of the day, but that shouldn't be why you start, and you shouldn't be driven by it. I see people who are averaging 1 to 5 viewers, and they have a donation bar up or a tip bar, and they've got sub goals. Do not do that unless it's a different kind of sub goal that is catered to a different way of growth. Those are going to turn people off. If you're averaging 1 to 2 people and you have a 15 subscriber sub goal, daily subscriber goal, people are going to laugh at you. You're going to get laughed at. So if you're trying to stream for money, just stop now and go watch a different video, because this is not to help you at all. The second question you want to ask yourself is, am I just streaming because I'm bored and I just want to have a little bit of fun online? Or am I streaming because I want to make a meaningful impact in the platform? I want to grow. I want to, nurture a community. I want to grow a community, and I want to be in this for the long term. Those are two different questions. Two different questions with two different answers. You can't say, well, yeah, I'm going to play to have fun, but I'm also going to grow a community, because that's not how Twitch works. You get to there eventually. Look at some of the larger streamers, but you don't get there instantaneously. With that being said, on to our next part here. there is a triangle that I have came up with. It probably exists in other forms, but this is the one that I always draw up when I'm talking to people about streaming. And it's a 3-pointed triangle, because that's what triangles are. And you need to pick 2 of those things that you want. One of them is happiness. The other one is growth. And the third one is to have fun. Now, if you're streaming, you have to pick 2 of these. If you're streaming to have fun and be happy, congratulations, you are part of the 99% on Twitch, and have fun streaming, because you are not going to grow. You may get a follower once a week, once every 2 weeks, but that's not growing. If you want to grow, you want more than 1 follower a week, that's for sure. If you want to really grow, then the rest of this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through every single step of the process. I'm going to give you some examples of this triangle because it's going to look confusing. You're going to look at it and think, well, if I'm growing and I'm happy, then I'm obviously having fun. That's not true. Take City Skylines, for example. There are people that I know who have grinded and are currently grinding City Skylines to grow their stream. City Skylines, at the end of the day, is not a fun game to play for more than a couple hundred hours, a couple thousand hours. Now, this is a general consensus. This is not fact for everyone. There's going to be an outlier that says, well, you know, I have fun playing cities, and that's great. If you have fun playing cities, then more power to you. But it is not a fun game to stream to grow. Now, having fun and growing and not being happy, that's also going to make you scratch your head if you're new to streaming. You're going to say, well, if I'm having fun and I'm growing, then I'm gonna be happy about that, right? No, because you may not be playing a game that you want to play. There are some streamers who play one game, who stream one game. And if they're streaming that game, they're probably pulling 100, 200, 300 viewers. And if they go to play something else different because they want to try something different, they're gonna have 45 people watching them. 10 to 20% of their current viewership watching them play a game. And that's bad. It's bad for a multitude of reasons that we're going to get into the future. A lot of my viewers in my community say, well, don't worry about how many viewers you have, just play a game just to have fun. And although I have reached partnership as of a few months ago, it's not that easy. You just don't want to change 180 degrees and just start doing what you want to have fun, because you're going to lose the growth that you've obtained. You have to slowly move that way, and we'll cover that as well later. After you've made that decision on the triangle, you can change places in those triangles at any time. Just know that you're not going to get the third when you pivot. There are 3 different kinds of streamers. This is another decision you want to make when you're starting off streaming. What kind of streamer do I want to be? There's 3 different kinds. We're going to go over each one and the pros and cons for each one. There is the commentator streamer. There is the entertainer streamer. And then there's the professional gamer streamer. So we're going to start with the commentator first. The commentator streamer is the one that focuses 80% on the game, 20% on chat. They talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, what plays, what mindsets, what plans they have. They're talking about, you know, parts of the game that are maybe not seen to the naked eye. They're talking about strategy. They're really going in depth about what they're doing, and they're not really taking chat's advice. They're not really including chat in the discussion. They're just talking. And a lot of these people do this not only for stream, but they do it for YouTube content, because they can just port it right over without having to worry about doing multiple takes or writing an outline or writing a script. And they do it because they're good at it. They don't want to interact with people. They're probably introverted. They probably don't want to form relationships. They just want to stream and be a commentator. There's nothing wrong with that. There are people that actually do a really good job with this form of streaming. Now, the pros and cons. Some of the pros are you don't have to have a face cam when you're a commentator streamer, because if you're not interacting with chat, they don't care what you look like. They're going to ask, obviously, what you look like, but they're not going to care about your reaction. If you're playing like a scary game, they're not going to care about whether you're screaming or crying or something like that. And that is a pro, because you don't have to how you look, whether you got some food on your face. You don't have to worry about cleaning up the area that you're working in. You don't have to worry about people walking by, breaking TOS. It really gives you a lot of freedom as far as where you're at your desk and what you're able to do. Another pro is there's less overlay to worry about on your screen. If you have a camera and you have things like that, you're gonna have a lot of overlays. And that's challenging when you're playing a game with a lot of information on the screen, because you have to be strategic about where you place things in order for it all to make sense and for the people watching to get the information that they want or need from the game as you're playing it. Another pro is that you can focus more on audio. Now that you don't have to worry about the video aspect of pieces and parts of your face in the background, you can focus more the money and the time more on how crisp you sound, the ambiance, the environment, and your music selection. And you can go for a very pro audio quality with a much lower budget because you can focus on that more. And you can make changes to your environment around your desk and around where your camera would be to improve that more so than people who are using a face cam. Another pro, which is also a con, which is why we're touching on this last, is that there's less chat interaction. You don't have to interact with chat as much as you think you have to. Just focus on the game. There are some people that just want to watch someone who knows what they're doing play a game. And that's a large audience. There's a lot of people that just want background noise, and they'll run you as background noise. And they will be quite happy with you being background noise for the rest of their days. So stick to your guns, play your game, commentate as you need, and they'll be happy campers. Now, the reason why that's also a con, we're moving into cons now for this, less chat interaction. You're gonna have a harder time retaining people in the community because people who watch commentary can only watch so much of it, especially on Twitch in 2021, because attention spans are lower than they've been in a while. They're gonna wanna watch something else. If you're not catching their attention and you're not engaging with them, you're gonna lose a large part of the audience. Now, at the end of the day, you might not want them in your community anyways, and that's okay. That's what being a commentator streamer is all about. Another con is that you don't have a face cam. People aren't gonna be able to see your face. They're not gonna be able to see your reactions. If someone drops a $100 tip, they're not gonna see like your mouth agape or your eyes get wide, or if you're that person, they won't see you cry. You lose that human aspect, that personable aspect about things, and it not only keeps people from doing that, but it could also stop people completely from doing it because some people drive completely off of reaction and interaction. One thing you have to do that's also a con, but some people may enjoy it, is you have to pay more attention to your details and your accuracy in what you are presenting on screen. You have to be very, very knowledgeable of the game that you're playing. And there are some people that are knowledgeable of a game to the point where it's their job, and they benefit very well from that. That it's almost moving into the pro gamer streamer tier, but there are people who know a lot about a game that still aren't very good at it, and that could be that makes the difference between a pro player and just someone who's very knowledgeable in the game. There could be other pros and cons, but those are the ones that stand out the most to me. One thing I do want to point out is without the face cam and without the overlays and stuff, you do have a less chance of getting potential income. If you're wanting to buy a game and play a new game kind of adjacent to the same genre that you're in, you're gonna have a hard time getting funds for that, only because you're just a commentator. You can do it. There are people that do a very good job in acquiring that, and you can probably get it done without any issue on your end of things, but overall it's just more difficult to do. And it could be a loss for you in the interim. Although you're not making money streaming, you do want to kind of break even on your costs if you're upgrading equipment, if you're buying games. And unless you're making enough disposable income to where it's not an issue for you, then don't worry about that part of the con. The next streamer is the entertainer streamer. Now, the entertainer streamer has a lot going for them. And not only can they also be a commentator streamer that also has a face cam, but they can also just be an entertainer. Now, your entertainer streamers are going to be the ones that have, the camera, and they can use that to their advantage. You can have a nice setup, you can have an animal, you can have stuffed animals, you can have a desk behind you full of things that are great conversational pieces, and you can also be very receptive as far as your looks. When people do something, you can have sound effects in your chat that scare you. Ooh, ah, you make a face, it gets scared. People like that, people can see it, and they strive off of it. Now, a small con of that is it could make for a trolly chat sometimes, but that's more interaction at the end of the day. You wanna write that off as interaction and just say thank you for that and move on. But here's the pros and cons of being an entertainer streamer. So pros, natural interaction. People are gonna show up, they're gonna see your face, they're gonna see how you're reacting to whatever game you're playing, whether it be a positive or a negative way. Just know that more times often than none, a positive reaction will garner more retention and more growth than a negative reaction. More avenues of incentivized growth and income. So you can do incentives. Like in my chat, for example, we had a thing where I would eat bean boozles. And if you didn't have a face camera on, there's no way to guarantee that you were eating a bean boozle. You can make noises. Oh man, this is gross. I can't believe you made me eat this. Oh man. But that's not the same thing. To see somebody take the bean out of the box, put it in their mouth, and either have that look of grotesque or be just elated that it's a delicious bean, it fuels chat. People have the reality TV exists for a reason. There's a morbid curiosity out there. People want to see things like this. They want to see reactions. So you can use that to your advantage. You can say, hey guys, we're saving up for a new game, as opposed to the commentator streamer. For every $5 that we get, I'm gonna dance. And you can dance, and it's incentivization. It gets people involved. It gets chat excited. And then it adds another avenue to your marketing and your potential brand, if that's where direction you want to go with that. Now, with that is going to come a few cons. I'm looking at a list over here. That way I can kind of follow a flow and not get too meandered off in my babbling. So the con, you have an overlay you have to deal with on your screen. There's a lot of extra overlay elements you have to worry about. A border on your camera, or if you're going to use a green screen, you have to worry about where you're positioning the green screen in your office, how often you're going to use it, what games you're going to use it for. Then with that comes lighting. You have to make sure your lighting's right. You have to have a foreground light and a background light. And you don't have to have any of this stuff that I'm saying, but if you want a quality setup, you're going to have to move into things like that. You have to worry about the prep money for that, and the maintenance money for that. You have to worry about cleaning your office, your workspace. You have to worry about keeping yourself groomed and cleaned if you want to look presentable on stream. There's a lot of factors that go into it, so you're constantly having to worry about that and making sure you're upkeeping like that. And if you don't look well, or you don't feel well, or you haven't been keeping track of your office, it could make you miss a day of streaming. When if you're just a commentator with no camera, you don't have to worry about that at all. It's almost impossible to be an entertainment streamer without a camera. That's not going to fly well. No one's going to enjoy that. Another con is there's going to be a need for interaction. People are going to come into your chat, they're going to see you, and they're going to want you to interact with them if you're being someone who's personable, who's approachable. And so you're going to have to be on top of your game the entire time. You're going to have to be able to interact with them, to talk with them, and to be able to interact with them in a meaningful way to keep them coming back and to grow your stream. Otherwise, it's all for naught. The third kind of streamer is the pro gamer. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this stream, you are not a pro gamer. Pro gamers are pretty much going to grow on their own. They're going to have an audience. They're going to be affiliated with a team of some kind. They're going to get attention, and they're going to grow. Now, these are going to be like your Shrouds of the world, your XQCs of the world, and things like that. They're going to have what's called the cheer chat. It's just a spammy chat of pogs and lulls and people pining for attention and people asking for subs, and just, it's going to go so fast that you're not going to know anything that's going on in that chat. Now, the pros of that is that a pro player can do whatever they want as long as they're playing the game that they're good at. They can have no camera, they can have a camera, they can have whatever they want on their overlay, they can be loud, they can be quiet. As long as they're playing, people will watch them. If you have a favorite pro in your life and you wanted to watch them play a game, as long as they were doing their game or playing or doing their what they're good for, what they're known for, you won't care. You'll watch them all day long because that's what you're there for. Another pro is that you don't really have to interact with chat because it's a very cheer chat. They're oriented on just keeping themselves occupied with all of their reactions to everything that you're doing. If you have like a godlike play, or you just killed somebody, or you just secured the win for your team, that's going to cause a lot of excitement in chat, and that's going to bring people in and keep people around. And especially older people, they like to give money for that, because then you get tipped, then you get your cheers, then you get your interaction that you want monetarily, because you're delivering a quality product which they want to see. Now, the cons to that, there's a few cons. Some of them are more professional than not. But the immediate cons for your sake and purposes is it's hard to be personable. You can't really be everyone's friend that's watching your stream. You're gonna have a lot of people. You're gonna have people that want to know you more than what you want them to know you as. So it's really hard to be a human when you're playing those games. You have to be the professional first. The other con is you cannot really play a different game. If you're watching Shroud, and Shroud is a known FPS player, and you want to watch him play FPS, then he turns around and starts streaming Stardew Valley, you're not going to watch him play Stardew. Anyone can play Stardew. He's not a professional Stardew player. You're going to go watch someone else play Stardew, or you're going to go watch another FPS streamer because that's what you want to watch. So it's really hard for them to branch out into other games. They have to play the game that they're good at, and they have to stick to it. That falls under the growing and having fun but not being happy. Or it could be growing and being happy with all the growth and all the income but just not having fun anymore. I've seen many a conversation with big pro gamers who say after a while they just get sick of playing the game. Of course they're good at it. They play it because it makes them money, but at the end of the day they don't want to do that. So you'll oftentimes see them stream less because they want more time to do what they want offline because they can't do it while they're streaming. So those are your 3 types. Odds are you're going to fall into one of the first 2. And if you do, make sure you stick to it. Don't be a commentator streamer for 6 months and then switch to being an entertainer streamer, because you're going to lose the commentating audience. They don't want to see you dance around. They don't want to see you eat stuff. They don't want to see you react to things. They want to see you play the game that you're good at and talk about the game that you're good at. The benefit of being an entertainer streamer, though, is that you can dip into commentary and you can be a commentary streamer as well. There are commentary streamers who are entertaining. There's a couple streamers I know who have a programming background, and they'll integrate chat into their game. Whether they're playing it for realsies to be serious, or they're just playing it just to hang out with chat. And then chat can become a part of the stream by being in the game. Now that takes an awful lot of talent and an awful lot of work, and if you're good at that, then I would recommend going that avenue if you want to be a commentator streamer. But entertainer streamers have the ability to kind of dip into both, which is why it's probably better to do that, because you can be entertaining and still be knowledgeable in the game that you're playing at the same time. Schedule is very, very important for stream. What you want to do is you want to figure out how much time you have for streaming. Now, let's say you're going to school and you go to school from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. every day. Do not stream 4:30 to 10 o'clock. Don't take your entire afternoon and stream. Find out what hours you're able to stream and then deduct an hour from the end and an hour from the beginning, because you're going to need time for yourself. I promise you. Make sure you have time not only for yourself, but to network, because networking is very, very important. When it comes to setting up timing for streams, 4 hours is the sweet spot. 2 or less, you're wasting time. 5 or more, you're going to start really burning yourself out if you're brand new to streaming. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Most people I see that are first starting out are doing like 2.5 to 3.5. That's probably best for starting out. But 4 is really, really good for multiple reasons. You're not going to have people who hang around for the entirety of your stream. You're in the category for longer of whatever game you're playing, so you're going to be seen by more faces. You cover a lot more beginning and ending times of streamers, so not only can they network with you, but you also get the viewers that leave that streamer looking for other people in the same category. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for you to actually pop up anywhere on follow lists and in the category before people can find you anyway. So just write out that entire first hour, because you could have an error, something could happen. You could drop stream for a moment. So 4 hours, in my opinion, is the sweet spot. If you find out that in your schedule you don't have time to allot for 4 hours, try for 3. Networking time is important. So before the stream, you want to take 30 minutes to an hour. You want to pop into everybody's stream, find new people. Try to find 1 new person per day. Go into everybody's chat for at least 10 minutes. Hang out. If it's someone new, drop them a follow. Buy some bits and cheer, 50 to 100 bits. And be personable, be fun. Don't talk about your stream. Don't talk about anything like that. Just be there. People want people to be there first before they care about whether you stream or not. And then afterwards, raid. You always want to raid, but you don't want to raid. If you have 2 people watching you stream, don't raid into somebody who has 100, because this is why. You have to think about math here for a minute. If you raid 2 people into a 100 person stream, you're increasing their stream by 2%. 2% is not a significant amount. And at the end of the day, no one is going to care that you're raiding into them. The people watching that person is there to watch that person. They don't want to go watch you because you're streaming at the same time as their favorite streamer. And you're not gonna catch very many people by doing that. What you want to do is you want to take those 2 people and you want to raid someone else with 2 people or someone else with 3 people. Now this is a mindset you're gonna have to get over. If you're thinking, well, I don't want to raid them because they're just as small as I am, then you have too high of an expectation for yourself and you need to sit down off of your high horse, because you're at 2 people for a reason. Everyone who has started streaming started off at 2 people. You and your bot, or your bot and your best friend, or your family member. Everyone's done that. You just don't wake up, start up streaming, you're at 50 people every day from the beginning. So what you need to do is you need to go double someone's viewership or increase it by 50%. Go raid somebody with 2 people watching them. All of a sudden, not only are you going to get followed by them because they're going to be completely enamored and shocked by your ability to raid into them and double their viewership, but they actually might be someone who's a new viewer in your stream before they go live. And now you've made a networking contact. And now you and him can talk about your streams together in each other's chat. And not only does that help them with potential viewers that you get, but it helps you with potential viewers that they get. So then you take that and you wait for your averages to go up as you raid different people. Follow them, be personable. Do not be afraid to unfollow somebody. Just because you followed somebody and it made a notification doesn't mean you have to stay there forever. If you don't like them after a week, unfollow them. Make meaningful connections, but make connections that are going to help you grow. And then after a few weeks, when you're averaging 3 to 4, go raid somebody who's averaging 3 to 4, or who's got 3 to 4 watching them, or someone with 5 to 6, because you can still increase their viewership by 50% or more. Make meaningful impacts. Don't go straight to the highest person in the category. They don't care. There are some that probably will care, and I used to, but all the fanfare and all the excitement for just a couple of people, I'm going to be real, is not worth the time. And I would much rather you go raid somebody that's going to help you grow than me. I'm not going to help you grow. Now, I have friends that are down there in that viewership as well, and I tell them the same thing. You should really use this raid for someone else who could really use it. I appreciate the support. You can come by here 10 minutes after you raid and host me. That would actually probably be a better gesture. But go make a networking connection, go grow your stream, then come by and talk. It's big. Think about you streaming. If you average 2 to 5 right now and someone came in with 5 people and raided you, now you got 10 people. You ever had 10 people before? Now all of a sudden you're sweating bullets. You're nervous. You got double people watching. What do you do? How do you handle it? That's up to you. And that's how you got to sell yourself. When you first get raided, you got to think this is a small interview. It's the elevator pitch. Someone walked in with you and closed the elevator door. You got 30 seconds to tell people about you before they go away, because they're going to click away unless you sell them. And you got to be good at what you're doing. Part of that strategy is also your game selection. Now, let's say you really love Call of Duty and you want to play Call of Duty. It's not impossible to grow playing Call of Duty. It's near zero, but it's not impossible. You have to network the same exact way, but you have to work harder, because there are thousands of streamers playing Call of Duty. And if someone goes to the category to watch a streamer, they're probably not scrolling down to the bottom or the bottom 10 rows and looking for somebody who's averaging 2 to 5. That's just the way it is. If you were to go fishing and you wanted to catch fish, excuse me, and you went to a pond, you're not gonna fish and say, oh boy, I can't wait to catch the smallest fish in the pond. No, you want to catch the biggest fish in the pond. So you're not going to go looking at the bottom or at the top of the water where the small fish are. You're going to look where the big guys are, all the big numbers are. So if you're a viewer watching content, you're not going to go watch the small person who probably has no production value, no value, and no one watching them. They're going to go watch somebody else that they can relate with, that they can react with, that they can enjoy the show with. So you have a taller ladder to climb. So what I would tell you is, if you really enjoy Call of Duty, maybe find an FPS game that has a smaller viewership. Without looking, I'm playing a game right now, I'm just talking. Without looking, I would say that there is the .io battle royale game. What is it called? Shooter.io or something, or battle.io. I bet you that you could pop up in the top row. And you pop up in the top row, then you gotta start worrying about your tags and your title. You gotta title yourself appropriately, and you gotta tag yourself appropriately to get people into your door. And that's when you start using the other things to your disposal to catch people's eyes. And then all of a sudden, you're top 2 in the category, and you're catching more people normally than you would be in Call of Duty or Apex or Fortnite. And you can still play FPS, you just can't play the FPS that you want. This comes back down to the triangle again. If you were having fun and being happy, you're playing Call of Duty. But if you want to grow, you have to drop one of those. You either have to play a game that you're not going to have fun with, or you have to play a game that you're going to be happy with and that you can still grow off of. One thing I'll also tell you, if you're a brand new streamer, it's okay in the first couple months to bounce around till you find a game that you're comfortable with. When you find a game that you're comfortable with, stick to it. Be consistent. Have the one game that you play in your pocket, and then have a second game that you play sometimes. But don't turn a 180 and play it the next day without telling people first. Let's say you do play Call of Duty, but you also enjoy a little bit of Binding of Isaac on the side. So what you'll do is you'll say, hey guys, I'm an FPS focused streamer that also likes to play Binding of Isaac. You can catch Binding of Isaac on this day, have a command for it in chat, make use of bots. And this is when you'll see me play Binding of Isaac. And then like the day before, if you're streaming, say, hey guys, just so that you all know, we're playing Binding of Isaac tomorrow. Be sure to tune in for it. And then that next day you're playing Binding of Isaac. Stick to your guns. Don't stream Binding of Isaac for an hour and be like, oh man, Timmy and Billy didn't show up today. I guess I better switch to COD. No, stick to your guns. Do what you said you're going to do. Be consistent. If you're going to waffle too much, you're not going to keep anybody around, because then someone's going to say, well, I really followed you for Binding of Isaac, but if you're not going to play it anymore, then I'm not going to follow you anymore, and you're going to lose them. If you insist on playing a different game every other day or every week, you have to know that the follower that you're going to get from that category is only there to watch that category. If you play Call of Duty one day, then you play Stardew Valley the next day and you get a follower in Stardew Valley, that Stardew Valley player does not want to see you play Call of Duty. They enjoyed you while you were playing Stardew Valley. So if you never go back to Stardew, they're never going to watch you again. So even though you may have a +1 follower, you don't have a +1 viewer. Be sure that the games that you play are also kind of adjacent to each other. Just like I said before, Call of Duty and Stardew are not adjacent. Call of Duty and BioShock are adjacent, or Borderlands. You know, games like that. And then eventually, through the 6 degrees, you can kind of make a hint or a push towards something like Stardew. But you don't want to do it immediately. If you want to grow on Twitch, it's an arduous path. It's a bumpy path. It's a long road. You're going to have a hard time. It's not going to be easy. Bumbling into people's streams and blurting that you stream will get you nowhere. It'll get you banned and it'll get you reported. Don't do that. Don't be an idiot. Be smart about what you're doing. Have a game plan. Take a couple of hours out of your week and sit down with a piece of paper, listen to this video again, and write out your steps and say, what do I want to do? What do I want out of this? What do I want to be in 6 months? Not 5 years, 10 years, 6 months. I have a spreadsheet where I track all of my stats. You can check it below the description. It's going to send you to a link. I update it monthly. You're going to see all of my stats for streaming. You're going to see I started off and did not do very well streaming. I actually started playing League of Legends and Magic the Gathering when I first started streaming. Those are very saturated categories, even more so now than they were 3 years ago. But then I started streaming games that people would find me on, and I played My Time at Portia, and I played City Skylines, and City Skylines helped me grow, and I still am very grateful for City Skylines. And Kerbal Space Program is what helped me get partnership. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have fun playing Kerbal Space Program, because sometimes it's not fun, but I'm happy with it, and it helps me grow. I've been branching out recently. We started networking with other people. I got lucky. I've been playing Minecraft, and even though Minecraft is super saturated, I have a larger streamer in my pocket who's been helping me out, and I've been super thankful for him. And even though I'm not getting the growth that the bigger streamers are getting, I'm getting growth. And you can see it in the numbers that we're getting. I'm reaching a point where I'm still having to deal with that triangle, and I've been streaming for 3 years. That's going to be a true fact that's going to be hovering around you for the rest of your days here on the platform. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. If you have any questions about any of this that we discussed, feel free to ask questions, ask for clarification here in the comments, join my Discord, send me a DM, don't post in my general chat, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have and help you on this journey. I will help all of you, but I'm not going to give you a shout out in my chat. My rule of thumb for giving people any kind of recognition about their stream in my chat is A, you have to be streaming for more than a couple of months. B, you have to be consistent with your scheduling. And C, you have to be serious about it. I have had friends and community members who went out and started streaming themselves. And they would come back into my stream and they would be very nonchalant about what they were just doing. Oh, you know, just playing a game with some friends, because they were wanting me to give them some inkling of a shout out. And I didn't. And within a month, they stopped streaming. And what that does for not only me, but for other people, is it builds a, what is it I'm trying to think of? It builds a reputation. If I go advertising everybody who comes into my stream as being a streamer, and then 2 weeks later they stop streaming, then who's gonna stand by my recommendation for a streamer? If I recommend somebody I know who's serious, or I know who's doing a good job, and I know who's wanting to be a better person, and that person goes to their stream and sees that quality in them too, then my word becomes better. So I'm actually doing you a favor by not giving you a shout out when you come in here to my stream every single day, because I want to see you be serious about it. Now this is me being as genuine and serious as possible. I honestly believe that everybody has a fair chance on this website, but you can't bypass the line. There's no express line. You can't go jumping into a big streamer's chat and saying, well, I stream too. That's not going to happen. You're going to get banned. You're going to get reported. I'm not going to give you the time of day. And I'm sure there's other streamers that will do the same thing. The other category, the other communities that I've seen that are more welcome and open to streamers, sadly, I see the people come in and leave because all they want to do is come in and go, I stream too, and then leave. They don't want to stick around and build a community. They're lazy. People are lazy. They want to come in, say that they stream to the 15 people, 20 people watching that streamer, and then leave. They don't want to network. If you want to be on Twitch, it takes work. This is currently my full-time job. I am working at least 60 hours a week. So ever since I've gone full-time, my streaming hours have gone up to over 200 a month, which is more than 40 a week. And my networking has grown in an astronomical way. My content creation has increased. My YouTube videos are now 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I'm still trying to juggle my life around that because it's a lot. So just know that you can make it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. Just please take into consideration what I said today. Ask questions if you're confused. And be nice to your other fellow streamers. If you're averaging 2 to 4, go rate someone else who's got 2 to 4. Be nice to them. Because then it's like a snowball rolling down the hill. As that snowball rolls down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But you have to roll through the smaller snow first before you start growing at all. You can't just automatically be a grain of snow and fall onto a piece of snow and become a giant snowball. That's not how that works. Grow. Be personable. Make contacts. Don't be afraid to unfollow. Don't be an idiot and say something stupid to get canceled in 2021. Keep your nose clean. Follow the rules. Follow Twitch etiquette. And I can't wait to see you with 50 plus. And since I've got this video up, for anybody who wants to, drop your information in the comments below if you've made it this far with your Twitch info. and I'll keep you bookmarked. I won't follow you yet, but I'll keep you bookmarked. So that's it for me, guys. Thanks for hanging out. If you want to catch me live Friday through Tuesday, 5 days a week, twitch.tv/Terahdra. We're currently playing through Kerbal Space Program, Stardew Valley, and Minecraft. And every Saturday we do a sub-voted game where they get to pick a special game for me. And I think right now, on this current week of the end of January, the game's going to be Oregon Trail, which is super weird. But that's the kind of games we're going to be dipping into. I give them 10% of my time every week for me to play something they want to see me play. So if you want to find out more information about all of that, check my information below. You can see my links. Follow me on Twitter. We're trying to get partner everywhere. And that's it for me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And I will talk to you guys soon. So good night. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching another video of mine here on YouTube. My name is Terahdra, and I stream on twitch.tv 5 days per week. Check the links below, find out the schedule, and hopefully I see you there. Let me know that you came from YouTube as well, wherever you are around the world, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.